Life with a sensory child requires flexible consistency. Children need routine and structure, especially those with sensory sensitivities. I truly believe that they actually crave routine and structure. I say flexibility is necessary because the ability to pivot when your child is overwhelmed is an absolute must. The world is an absolute sensory overload for children suffering with a sensory sensitivity or disorder. As a parent, you need to have realistic expectations when it comes to unfamiliar or stressful environments. Oh, and you need patience, like a crazy amount of patience, which is not always attainable 100% of the time. And that is absolutely okay. The human factor and all that entails is real. And please keep in mind that this is just the opinion of one chatty homemaker. And I am by no means an expert in sensory disorders by any stretch of the imagination. So hi, welcome to my channel. I am the Chatty Olive. I am happily married and a mother of 3, and my youngest happens to be a sensory child. He is an amazing 9-year-old and he is currently rocking the 4th grade. Well, rocking to his own beat at least. Let me tell you, he keeps my husband and I on our toes. We could not imagine a world without him, and his challenges are readily accepted in our household. He is an absolute character, and we love him for it. Honestly, my son handles change better than many sensory sensitive disorder sufferers. But I notice he thrives with knowing exactly what to expect. Clear outlines and expectations are great for behavior and pattern motivation. When the unknown is removed from the situational equation, it is one less environmental roadblock challenge that he must face. Changes to his environment, no matter how seemingly insignificant, can throw a wrench in his whole routine. That could include having a substitute teacher, a school assembly or event, or even a simple fire drill. Sensory children need time to process a situation without feeling pressured in order to move forward and attempt to approach new roadblocks. If rushed, the general outcome will most often result in either a complete refusal to cooperate, an outburst, or a complete meltdown. Our son is sensitive to loud noises, bright lights, food, tastes and textures, and touch. And a fun fact, our son doesn't have the ability to smell. So I have no clue if he would have also had a sensitivity to smell or not. It does make you wonder if some of his sensitivities stem from his other senses overcompensating for his inability to smell. He is also terrified of heights, water, and large crowds. He physically finds it painful when others touch him. He is not a particular fan of touchy-feely people, if you catch my drift. Handling his emotions is also a major struggle. It can be nearly impossible to talk him off a ledge when his sensory overload has crossed a certain threshold. There are often warning signs, and more often than not, older sensory children are capable of communicating their discomfort. Our son will almost immediately explain that he has sensory issues upon meeting anyone new. He will explain that he doesn't like to be touched, especially without permission and fair warning. And those that dismiss his feelings may permanently destroy any chance of a relationship, personal or professional. This has really been an issue for our son when it comes to his education and medical care. Some of his teachers are just touchy-feely, but the biggest culprits I have found are often those in the medical industry. A little patience and understanding goes a long way. And I know medical professionals are very busy, but the patient's well-being should always be taken into consideration. Doctors are human. Doctors are not always right. Trust your instincts. Recently, we had an issue for exactly this reason. Our son is in need of dental work. He is absolutely unable to tolerate my husband or I assisting in his oral care. And we did find a dental office that was patient and pivoted to meet our son's needs. They found workarounds to give him the general care that he needed, but they were honestly unable to do the more in-depth, invasive work without sedation. We were completely content with their services until the anesthesiologist entered the situation. We were very upfront about our son's sensitivities and restrictions. We were assured that their office would be able to accommodate our son's needs. Let me tell you, that was most definitely not the case. The anesthesiologist seemed to be in a great hurry, which seems crazy since we waited for over an hour in the waiting room. Even after being informed of our son's particular situation, she would not remove her hands from our son. She would not step back and just give him a chance to process. Keep in mind, we were still in the waiting room, and we were definitely not alone. And this was definitely not the time that sedation was even being administered. Our son was visibly shaking, begging her to stop and give him just a moment, and practically trying to climb the back of his seat to escape. My husband tried to intervene, and the anesthesiologist got really short with us, and she snapped back with some attitude. We were absolutely aware that touching would be necessary to administer sedation. But as I mentioned before, we were still in the waiting room. If she had just taken a moment, stepped back, received permission from our son, everything would probably have been fine. Those with sensory disorders just needed a little bit additional time to process before moving forward. This is pretty common knowledge. Our son was completely aware of what he was there to do. He just needed to feel heard and respected. Does that make sense? Who doesn't? Needless to say, we immediately left the facility. Later, the dentist called us and told us that the anesthesiologist was unable to change her routine in order to analyze a child, and therefore be unable to accommodate our son's dental needs. So, if any of my viewers also have experience with a sensory child and know what options are available to accommodate, please let me know. My son recently started receiving occupational therapy to better learn the necessary tools to navigate this sensory-filled world. Hopefully, this specialized technique will offer our son the tools he needs for his tool belt to help him better overcome some of these barriers that are negatively impacting his overall health and development. As far as public education is concerned, our son's school is doing their best to accommodate our son and his particular brand of awesomesauce. There have been many ups and downs. Although, if I'm being 100% honest, I am not sure that the public school system is the right environment for him. Our son has been a victim of bullying, and because he learns from observing others, that he has unfortunately learned some bullying techniques of his own. Children are aware of his sensory issues, and they find it funny to trigger him. Yes, he is responsible for his own actions, but it hurts my heart that kids would find joy in upsetting him to the point that he has an outburst or meltdown. Our son's academic achievement levels have definitely dropped since attending school in person. Until recently, our son continuously tested in the 99th percentile. He is still testing above average, but it is unfortunate to see. He is a very bright child, but the sensory load is a big ask of him. We are trying to build up his social skills and hopefully aid in his ability to navigate this crazy, chaotic world. But I personally hate asking him to make radically uncomfortable changes so that he can adapt to fit into society. I wish the world was more accepting and inclusive. Why is being different so scary to the neurotypical? Uniqueness should be celebrated, not a reason for isolation. What are the struggles you face as a parent of a sensory child? Do you have any tips or insight? Maybe you just need a friendly ear that understands your frustrations. Our family is very fortunate in the fact that our son is very high functioning. I'm not sure what our lives would have been like if that had not been the case. I am a very chatty homemaker. I always appreciate a good chat. Please do not hesitate to reach out. Even if I can't offer appropriate insight, maybe another viewer can. Just know that you are not alone and that you are doing great. There is no such thing as a perfect parent. Love and patience go a long way. Celebrate those victories. And it is absolutely okay when things don't go exactly to plan. Maybe your child will get there one day, maybe not. But that, honestly, is okay. They are their own brand of unique awesome sauce. And so are you. I almost forgot to mention that today is our oldest son's birthday. Son, if you are watching this video, happy birthday. We know you are crazy busy at university, but hopefully you are not too busy to carve out a little time to celebrate. You are absolutely loved and missed. And you are also your own special brand of awesome sauce. And we are beyond proud of you. I really appreciate your thoughtfulness and support in my YouTube journey. I personally don't know a lot of young men that would take the time out of their busy schedule to listen to their mother chat away like only a chatterbox can. You are absolutely amazing, and I love you so much. Okay, reeling in the emotions now. Thanks for chatting with me today. Sometimes a good vent goes a long way. Until next time, stay chatty.